Like, do you guys remember in 2019 when Tate made the video to me and my brother?
Oh, no. What?
Did you guys know me then?
No.
I posted a picture, and I said, there's new brothers in town, and they don't run webcam businesses. I didn't even tag him. And it fucking blew up. He made a response video in a 720S and challenged me and my brother to a fist fight and to an IQ test, and was going to fly us to Romania and stream it on TV.
What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Stick Talk podcast. We have a special studio here in Miami with the homie Luke. What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? Thank you, boys, for coming.
Of course, man. Long time coming.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro.
I broke something right away. All right, I'm not moving anymore. Let's talk about the sponsorship, bro.
Yeah, so I guess we're sponsored by Lucy now. Superior nicotine product. Zen is inferior. Lucy
enjoying
is
it
superior.
so far.
Yeah, so
It's good.
you like it?
Yeah.
This is your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. So
They're just smooth, bro. I feel like Zen is just like... It
makes you feel like you're gonna die. It's just not. It's not good. This is like a good time.
Is it good hangover cure, Christian?
To be determined.
All right, we're gonna see. It looks like he's
we
about
got
to start
plenty.
sweating
Perform
here.
on this podcast, but yeah, dude, I feel like we've known each other for a while through Twitter. Never got to link up. So if you want to just run through Close Your Cartel, your journey, where you're at with things, give the audience a quick briefing.
Yeah, so I teach people sales. So I did the normal thing, started an agency like everybody else, and realized I hated it because I didn't want to have like 8 bosses. And I obviously didn't build a team like you guys do, and I didn't do the right thing. So I was like, this sucks. But what am I good at? Well, I'm good at sales because I was selling my own stuff, like 10K offers over the phone to people I didn't know to build like funnels or to build a webinar or whatever. 10K a pop at like 19, 20 years old. So I was like, why don't I just do this? So I started selling for people before it was a real big thing. Yeah. There was no ads for high ticket sales. There was no, I didn't even know like who Cole Gordon was. I didn't know Jeremy Minor. I didn't know anybody. So I kind of just learned the hard way. So I did really well, made like 30K a month for several months as a sales rep in my early 20s. So was like, what's next after this? If I want to grow, I want to make more money, have a bigger impact. And I didn't know what that was. So we tried to manage sales processes for people, some big guys on Twitter, but then we got to rely on them, their marketing. Yep. It's the same problem as the agency.
Same thing as an agency.
Yeah. So I was like, let's just do what I did. This changed my life. So why don't we just teach this to other kids? And it blew up and went to the stratosphere afterwards. And now we're rocking, and we got software on the back end and a lot of things.
All kinds of things. When you say change your life, what was your life like before?
It sucked. it sucked, bro. I got the typical, like, I don't want to spend like 10 minutes talking about sob story or whatever. But I got the typical like trenches story, like grew up really poor, didn't have internet, abusive family, like all that kind of shit. And then was like, I guess this is not going to change if no one in my life or in my family changes it. It's literally me, my mom, my brother now anyway. So I was like, I don't want to be poor. So what do I do? And then just fell down the rabbit hole. Luckily, one day, I worked at the YMCA in my town over from my small town. And this guy, I had just crashed my car. I just got cheated on. I was 18, senior year of high school.
Just going through it.
Bro, I was going through it. And I was already broke. So I'm like...
Crashed the G-Wagon?
Yeah. Bro, I couldn't even fathom having a G-Wagon then.
The hoopty?
It was a $500, 3 different colors Chevy Cavalier. Nice. It was orange, black, and silver because it was all like different parts.
Different paint jobs at different times.
It like the axle would like break when I was driving and I'd have to fix it. Like it was a piece of shit. But I loved it. It was my only car. I worked like all summer to buy this car. So I find out in the same night, it was New Year's of 2018. So like the first 3 hours of the year, because it was like 3 in the morning. I'm coming home from a New Year's party with this girl. I find out last in my whole high school, which is like 40 minutes away, but where I'm from, it's not far, like Miami. Like you picture going 40 minutes away in Miami, you're like, this is a whole other state, but where I'm from, it's normal. So I find out she cheated on me, and I'm like, fuck. So
you said you were the last one to find out?
I was last, so it was embarrassing because everyone knew, right? Everyone at my school knew. I was the last one to find out. Like these guys were like joking in a group chat with me, and I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" Yeah. They're like, "Oh, this guy with your girl." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I was naive, bro. I didn't know. So I'm like, "Fuck!" And then I'm driving home. It's like 0 degrees. Deer runs out, smashes my car. So my car is destroyed. I have nobody to call. Like everyone's asleep. So I call my mom. Doesn't pick up. I call this guy. It was kind of like a father figure. Doesn't pick up. I'm like, "Fuck!" So I'm like screaming at the sky at God, and I'm like, "What do you want from me? My life already sucks. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just like down bad. So I get home eventually, almost fucking freeze to death because 0 degrees. I didn't have a coat in the car. Jeez. And then my heat wouldn't work because it smashed the radiator. So if you have no coolant in your car, your heat won't work because it'll overheat. So it was just ice coming
People in
through.
Miami don't understand.
Yeah, bro. Crazy. So I get home, and then in the next week, I had to bum a ride with my mom. She worked at the YMCA as well. So I go to work, and 100% God doing this. 100% was God. I go to work, and this guy walks up to me, and I talked to him a couple times about like stocks, and I had like $20 in Robinhood, and I didn't even know what like the S&P 500 was. Bro, I didn't know anything. And he goes, I feel like I'm supposed to give you this book. He's a very, very Christian guy. He's like, I feel like I'm supposed to give you this book. And out of the blue, no reason. He doesn't know what's going on in my life, no context. He gives me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I go home, I read it, I start crying because I just felt like in my heart, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So my mom's in the kitchen cooking, and I'm like, Mom, I was like, we're going to be good. Like, we're going to be rich. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And she goes, what's that? And I was like, I don't know. But in this book, this guy has a rich dad and a poor dad, and then he does business. And like, I'm going to do that. And then I just fell down the rabbit hole from there. And yeah, now we're here.
Dude, how'd you figure out what an agency was? Like, you're coming from the middle of nowhere, rural Ohio, and you
well, okay,
just started
so
an
I
agency.
had those Chromebooks at school.
Okay.
I didn't have internet, like genuinely didn't. And I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 17.
Damn.
And even at home, I couldn't use my cell phone because we had no service. I'm like from the sticks.
Yeah.
So I would see like Iman videos. I would see Sebastian Gheorghiu videos. And I'm like, oh, like these young guys are making money. How? Oh, e-com and the SMMA wave was kind of like peaking then. So I went to college and was like, okay, I have to sell something because we sold cars, we sold guns. I used to sell guns out the back of my car at gas stations, like in Ohio. I swear to God.
America.
Like, because we just had like a bunch of shotguns and stuff from like my dad and whatever. So I was selling everything I had to try to make money. And I was like, I was smart enough to know, okay, I have to sell something. What do I sell? And then I stumbled upon the agency thing, saw Iman talking about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sell Facebook ads. Didn't know how to fucking run Facebook ads. So I just started selling it to like realtors, like everybody else starts. And yeah, just learned from there.
Dude, that's so cool, especially knowing you now. Like, I know, like, you're recently at an event with Iman. You hang out with Sebastian. Like, what's that like?
It's cool, bro. I just went to Utah with Sebastian, and I told him on the balcony, I was smoking a cigar with him, and I looked at him and I was like, dude, we're like really good friends now.
Yeah.
It's not like it started off as like, oh, I look up to this guy online, and then he actually came to Miami last year and was like, hey, I'm in Miami if you want to link up, because he had seen my stuff. So he actually came to my mom's house, had breakfast with us. Wow. Like, great guy. Like, I absolutely love Sebastian. He's like a brother to me. And I told him, I was like, I knew this would happen, bro. I was like, I saw your video in English class in high school when I was 18, and I just knew that we would be friends. I knew we would be friends. 24, 25.
He just got started early.
He's doing it like 7
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like an
doing
OG
YouTube from
of the
start
space.
too. Yeah.
Drop shipping,
super
right?
smart.
That was his thing.
Very successful. And then Iman was the same way. Like, I obviously watched all of his stuff, was someone I looked up to a lot because they had a big jump on me. Like, I started technically at 19, but these guys were like 16, had internet, all this stuff. So I was like trying to play catch up. So I got the same conversation in Dubai with Iman, and now we're really good friends. Like, I have to talk to him later today about something cool that I can't talk about, but it's very fucking cool.
Ooh,
but they're great guys, bro. Like, they're like brothers to me. Great guys, which is cool because it comes full circle, you know?
Yeah. What's I would say from each of them, like, the biggest lesson you learned? Starting with Sebastian.
Sebastian is a really good human, bro. Like, people don't realize how much money the kid makes. Like, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah. And
everyone flexes money online now. Like, you see people doing the watches and the cars thing. He's been doing this since before it was a cool thing. And on top of that, like, he's super humble. Like, hanging out with him, you would never, ever, ever hear him like brag or put you down or anything of the sort of like, oh, I'm better than you. I'm rich. I make all this money. He's just like a good, genuine, like, God-fearing guy. He's one of those guys similar to like Sanjay, where I would be like, okay, I could go to war and leave my wife in a bed with you and nothing would happen. He wouldn't even like look at her. He's like that kind of guy. So his character and who he is as a human. Iman and I are very similar. Like, I've never met somebody where, you know, when you meet people and you're like, we're the same mentally, it just clicked. Like, we were talking about our mom. We have very similar lives. except he grew up in London, obviously, and had obviously there's opportunity there. And I'm from Yeehaw town, so but our moms
what it's called?
No, it's called Piketon, but our moms had the same problems, right? The whole
that oil spill was or whatever, or the train?
No, that was north.
That was East Palestine.
We had the biggest murder in Ohio history when I was in high school. There was 8 people massacred on my road.
What?
Yeah, swear. You can look it up. I'll show you
Like a
afterwards.
serial killer?
No, just like hillbilly warfare.
Holy shit!
Yeah, crazy.
It's like GTA.
Bro, it's nuts. That's why I'm always like I'm basically from the hood, just in the country. So we ain't got Glocks and stuff. We just have shotguns. But going back to Iman, he was one of the first people I've met where I was like, this guy, like, it's like I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's like unspoken words. Like you can communicate without saying words because you just know, because you've seen the same shit. Our moms went through the same thing. We were talking about trying to connect our moms because that's a whole other thing when your mom goes through a life of abuse and then you retire her. Problems just come out of nowhere. Like you would think, and he's doing the same thing. And he was giving me advice because he retired her earlier than I did. You retire your mom, she goes through all this abuse, and then you're like, oh, we're set. Nope. The problems just begin. Because when you're used to having problems in your life, and
You look for more.
Yeah, and then you erase them all, you just create problems, which is like, it is what it is. But great guy as well. A lot of people hate on Iman online, and I think it's out of pure jealousy. I think they're really good at the angles they hit, and they push the angles hard. Like they definitely push the line of maybe repetitive marketing or like, oh, it's your last chance or whatever. But every company ever does that.
Yeah.
The only reason people get mad is because he's doing it at such a level that it makes people insecure.
I think when he put on his landing page like 70% close rate, everyone.
Well,
was
so I called him when that happened, and I was like, dude, you cannot say this, because like he will even say himself, he's like, I'm not a sales guy. I was like, bro, you can't say this. People are gonna like rip you guys apart. He's like, bro, I just read it. It was written by a copywriter or whatever, and I was like, okay, and they deleted it like immediately after. So it's not like they're trying to sell that, you know. But Iman's a great guy. From him, the biggest lesson probably is just the level in which things are possible. That was the biggest thing I learned going to Dubai, was seeing the way he carries himself and his team, the way they run their company. No one knows. You guys only see like the character of all the old money and the nice stuff. But dude is a killer. Like they run their stuff so militantly and at such a high level. There wasn't one person on their team that I wasn't like, man, I would love to work with this person, or I would trust this person, or I would love to hang out with this person. Everyone was at a high level, which was super, super cool to see.
Yeah, I feel like that's similar to when we went to PVD's office.
Yeah. It's
Like
just very clear who the
I love
leader is
him
as well.
Yeah, like everyone around him is just so professional, so welcoming. You're like, yeah, like I want to hire people like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in there on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
What
whole
did the one
sales
girl
team was
say?
making dials.
We asked like how you feel. She's like outstanding,
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
All right.
Like super intense. Well, I wasn't gonna stop you.
Stop you.
All right, I fuck with it. That's like a clear, like, you could just tell that the moment that person was onboarded, they read over the company values, and it wasn't the person sitting there at their desk like, okay, yeah, sure, guy. It was like, I'm 100% believing this.
Yeah. And that's what they did, bro. Their standard in which they do things, I was blown away. And that was a big, I love getting in rooms with people that are make me feel small, because I was like, we're not running ours at this level at all. So it was a big, I always tell people this, like if you can see them, and this is what happened with me, like coming from nothing, whatever,
Yeah.
I could see the North Star. So I knew it was possible. If I can see someone else do it, I know that I can also do it. So that was the biggest thing
That's
probably
like
that I've learned from
first
Iman.
thought is, why not me?
Yeah, like, bro, if for example, Tate can do what he did, go mainstream from our space. Like, do you guys remember in
always talk
2019
about this.
when Tate made the
Yeah.
video to me and my brother?
Oh no! What?
You guys know me then?
No.
So I'm not going to post the video, or we're not going to put it in the podcast. But
I remember when Mason got into his
okay,
tiff
so
with him.
bro, 2019.
Okay, so
I had
this is like
just
2
made
years
my
before
Twitter
that,
account.
Yeah.
I had just bought a BMW. I had like my big month in my agency, so I bought this Beamer and was like, I'm the shit. I'm like hot shit now. So me and my brother post this douchebaggy picture, and I didn't even know who Tate was. At the time, he had like 30K followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
And all that I knew of them was like these dudes that wear leather jackets with like a used Aston Martin,
The Bugatti
and
picture
talk
of
about
Star Wars.
pimping hoes online. That's
Yeah.
all I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally just did not resonate with that value wise. So I was like, I've always spoke my mind clear. And, like, you guys know this. Like,
Yeah.
It's got me in trouble. But, like, I will always say what I believe. And I posted a picture, and I said, there's new brothers in town, and they don't run webcam businesses. I didn't even tag him. And it fucking blew up. Remind me, and I'll show you guys the video. Because you guys didn't know me then. But that's what initially kicked my brand off. Was I had like, now you can see views on videos.
Yeah.
You couldn't then. Probably got millions of views because he made a response video in a 720S and challenged me and my brother to a fist fight and to an IQ test and was going to fly us to Romania and stream it on TV. Like, I'll show you the video.
Dude, imagine if
crazy.
you took him up on that.
Missed opportunity, bro.
So that's why I started training. That's why I started fighting, was because I know one day, like, again, similar to those two, I will know one day that I will. He's messaged me before, like, nice stuff before he got banned the first time on his account. But I know one day I will meet him, and I want to be ready to be like, yo, do you remember this video? Like, let's do it. Like, in a respectful, like, mutual way.
Good luck.
Like, that's a cool thing.
Our buddy Bailey is this video guy, and he boxes with him every day and gets his shit rocked.
Yeah.
So, have fun.
I'll have a blast, bro. I love that shit. So, yeah, super cool.
Damn, bro. That was way back. So you're saying that kickstarted a lot of your brand online?
Especially on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. And was Twitter the first platform that you really started to grow on, or?
Yeah, because Instagram growth. Remember when they made all their changes initially, and Instagram just went to
the
shit.
Algorithm was
so I was always
in
posting,
order.
but I never got growth on there. I was just like documenting. But Twitter was where I popped off. Like, that video probably got me to 1,000 followers, and then over that next year, probably 2,000 from just posting in the trenches sales stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think you guys probably met me online when I was around 4K or so. And then just went crazy after that. But yeah, that was the start.
Who are some of the guys you connected with early on through Twitter that like really helped?
There's been so many.
Growth?
Well, like Alex Hayden was my first friend I ever met offline.
In Ohio?
Yeah, he was in Columbus, and I drove up to Columbus, and we took a boat out. They live on a lake, and he lives in a really nice part of Ohio. And we went out on a boat. He was like my first friend, and we're still like best friends.
Yeah.
And now like I acquired his company, and the reason I'm in software is because of him.
Oh,
so
I forgot about that.
It
We
all
should
comes
talk
like
about
full
that
circle.
too.
Yeah.
That's sick. So Alex, who else? Some of the guys on Twitter.
There's a lot of them that I'm not close with anymore. I'm trying to think. Obviously, like Sanjay is my best friend. I met him on Twitter. Our whole circle down here obviously met on Twitter. I've met crazy people on Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Like crazy connections. Crazy connections. Names, I don't want to name drop a bunch of people, but connections, like a lot. It's been wild.
Yeah. What was the thing that changed for you going from like running Facebook ads, like guerrilla marketing, to actually being like dialed in with sales, running an agency that way, starting Closer Cartel?
Well, so I realized fast that like there was no way I was going to make a lot of money if I was selling $500 like offer. Yeah. So I was like, what do I do? And I saw a YouTube video one day of Iman getting flown to New York to build a webinar for somebody.
No shit.
And I remember he said, yeah, they paid me 20 grand. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, you can do that? I didn't even know it was a thing. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And I was like, I don't know how to build a webinar. So I got all of Russell Brunson's shit. I watched all of it. And I started scouring in like the ClickFunnels Facebook groups. And then people would be like, webinar? I would just DM them. So before I even knew how to send DMs or like appointment set via DMs or DM text or whatever, I was literally booking my own calls. This really nice lady, Karen, I got her on a call. Most expensive offer I'd ever sold was like $1,000, I think, or $750 before that. It was like a Shopify website design or something. Because I didn't even know like to have one serve. I was just trying to do whatever to make money. I didn't know. And I had remembered, I was like halfway through the call, I was going to just build her a funnel. And I was like, you need a webinar. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, so here's how it works. This is what it looks like, whatever. She's like, okay, how much? And I remembered like in the moment, I was like, oh, Iman sold this for 20 grand. So I go 10 grand. And she pauses, and I didn't even know to shut up after like you make a pitch. Then like I didn't know anything about sales. It was a 2-hour sales call, bro. Yeah. It was mostly an hour of like me just building rapport, and she liked me because I was like this young man. She was like in her 60s.
Damn.
And I was just like being very nice, genuine, talking about her family, whatever. And she waits. And bro, this was honestly like the start of the sales stuff. And she waits, and she goes, oh, I thought it was going to be so much more expensive. And I was like, fuck. In my head, I was like, man.
Should have said 20, bro.
Bro, she pays right there. I sent her an invoice. She paid it. And I call my mom. And I'm like, Mom, I just made $10,000 in 2 hours. And she's like, what? I'm like, bro, my mom made 14 grand a year. Like raised me and my brother on 14 grand a year. She was a substitute teacher.
That's crazy.
Because she, like, there's no jobs where I'm from. So the only thing she could do with her degree, she got a bachelor's. while we were going through crazy stuff, which is awesome for her, but there's no opportunity. So she was a sub. Subs don't get a lot of days to actually sub because the main teacher's there. So she's like, you just made 10 grand in 2 hours? I'm like, yeah. She's like freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like running around my trap house apartment in the hood in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm like, man, this is like the thing.
Yeah.
Dayton.
That was the start. Yeah, Dayton. That's where I went to college.
The Dayton Flyers.
Well, so Dayton is the main school. I went to Wright State, which is beside it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dayton.
Dude, there's no adrenaline rush like closing your first high ticket deal.
Bro, it's still, I still get it. Like,
Reminds me of Cherie, remember?
Yeah.
Bro, why was I thinking of her too?
Even before then, when
Our
we were
first close was like a nice older woman.
even before then, when we were doing Incubate, like for me, just having those phone calls, I literally went through probably the same course. I went through Russell Brunson's like .com secrets, and they had like their sales training where they'd pass like this little microphone around and do like mock calls in this little office in this little den. And I stayed up from like 12 to like 3 a.m. just watching these because I had my first call. And we started this company, and I didn't know like what my role was in the company. I was like, I'll do sales. And they're like, all right, Dan, you're doing sales. I was like, oh, fuck, I got to get some training. Because I'd done a bunch of like appointment setting. We did some shit with like Instagram loop giveaways. But that first one, it was like $5,000 or something. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, holy shit.
bro, you never
you put
forget.
you put it on mute. This was phone call instead of Zoom. So I just like put it on mute. I was like, fuck yeah. Such a great adrenaline rush.
You never forget it. And it was my own offer too. So I made the 10 grand. I was like, I literally just made 10 grand. And the most money I'd ever seen before that was like $700. So that was a light bulb. That was spring 2019 or spring 2020. I can't remember which one, but yeah, crazy.
Did you invest in a lot of different courses,
Yeah.
like coaching stuff?
So I took that 10 grand and I went and bought Up Level. I went and bought Consulting
Was that Sam
Accelerator.
Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's where that was the roots of where I learned to build info product companies.
Got it.
So I still ran the agency. That was the light bulb for sales, but I still thought, I should run an agency. So I just pivoted to info product. So before the sales thing was a thing, I was DMing big giant verified Instagram accounts that had programs, and I was like figuring out, they sell a high ticket offer. They need a funnel. They need to tweak their marketing. They need this to actually make the most of the traffic they have. So before sales was even in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to generate the infrastructure kind of thing. So I was selling like 10K, 20K, done for you, build it out myself. And then obviously that got old. So I was like, fuck this. And then just became a closer.
For the sales training piece specifically, though, was there like a certain person that you would consume a lot of content from, or you kind of just took a bunch of
YouTube
calls
University, bro.
Yeah.
Like the first sales video I ever watched, I think, was Bet David before Valuetainment was like a big thing. It was like a small business help thing. I bought Belfort's book and I was like, okay, this is cool, but that didn't really move the needle in the way I needed to. So it was literally just practice. It was like DMing people on my own, getting on my own calls with my own offer, learning why my offer didn't work. And then I could then figure out why the sales didn't work because something was wrong with the offer, because it's all connected.
Yeah.
And then even if I DM'd them something and then the call wasn't congruent, I would just see the little things. So I did thousands of these, bro, of just trying to sell random shit. And that's how I learned, to be quite honest. And then obviously I learned a lot once I was a full-time closer with like other closers and people that had been a bit more experienced than me. But starting off just that was just YouTube University.
Love it. Were you closers for other people's offers? Or?
Yeah. So I sold real estate coaching offers. I sold a SMMA offer. I sold an e-com offer. I sold a trading offer for a little bit. And then the big one was I sold it was like the style of e-com automation, but it was sold as an investment to people with a lot of money. So it was doing it the right way, because the model works. Well, it doesn't now, but automation then worked. But when you sell it to millionaires that just want a piece of online money, it makes sense. Yeah. You're not scamming like some person and telling them to take 30K of funding out. Yeah. So I was selling 100K offers. This was 2021 before I moved to Miami. I was selling 100K offers to sophisticated people. There was like 4 calls sometimes. It was like a long sales cycle. 100K, 10K commission. Just boom, 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 boom. So that was like where I was like, okay, I'm fucking good at this.
I was going to say, what was that point of realization that you were really good at this and you wanted to go in?
Well, I was looking at everyone else in the companies.
Okay.
And they were much older than me, much more experienced. And I was like slinging these things. And I was like, oh, you're not better than me. You're not better than me. So I was like, I must be good at this. And then that was spring of 21. Me and my brother got flown out to California for this client, slept in like a fucking trap house, crusty mattress for 2 weeks. We would literally, they ran their shit like a boiler room. The leader of that company, I won't say his name, he was a horrible person, was not a good leader. So that was the light bulb for Closer Cartel, was because he actually used to say that. He used to say, we're a cartel of closers.
Oh,
so
what?
that's where I got the idea, and it was kind of spiteful because I was like, he literally told me one day, like, something very rude was like, you'll never, like, something just derogatory of like, you'll never be this big or something. And I was like, okay, let's see. So I left his company, blew up, like in 2021, that second half of the year, we made like 800K, I think, after I had only ever made 30 grand in a month. And then he called me and is like, hey, like, why don't we do a collab? I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, no, not doing it. So now we're crushing, and I don't know what's happened to them. But yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your brother, because you've mentioned him a couple times now.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys work together?
You guys haven't met Logan, have you?
I don't think so.
Maybe, yeah. Was he at the Internet Kids thing way back in Miami?
No, he wasn't. So
Okay.
he is 18 months younger than me. So when I left college, he was still in high school. So then he'd been like not lagging in progress, but lagging behind in like just steps of life.
Yeah.
So when I came to Miami, he was in Ohio, and then he went to California to sell solar because people were printing with solar. But solar is one of those things, bro, where it doesn't really even matter how good you are. It matters what zip codes you hit, what areas you're in, what areas haven't been hit yet. And he just hit a horrible streak. Like, he made no money for a year.
It's tough because you can close 20 deals and not get a single commission check.
Like, bro, right now he's selling a crypto, like, DeFi investment offer to very sophisticated, advanced people, wealthy people, for a company based out of Dubai. And I think he made 20 grand this last month.
Hell yeah.
And he's 22. So I'm turning 24 in a week. He's 22. So yeah, he worked with me for a bit, closed very well. He's great. He's solid. But he just had to like learn to catch up with, because I was like, leaving Ohio, I'm gonna go to Miami, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna build this company, and he's just trying to like in the timeline like catch up, but he's crushing it. Our plan, we told each other from the day of the Tate thing, we were like, we are going to be bigger than them. So this might sound crazy. You guys might be like, Luke, you're a fucking idiot, but I'm telling you right now, we will be bigger than those brothers. I've said this like several times before. It pissed us off so bad. Bro, Logan is jacked. Like, he is like, looks like he's on steroids now. Because you know why? In that picture that we posted, I'll show you guys after. He's so skinny and scrawny and like is wearing glasses and just like his neck is like this big. Bro, people ripped him apart when that tweet went viral. And it made him so mad that he was like, okay, fuck this, I'm gonna get jacked. So he went and got jacked. So
good for him, though. That's the right way to respond.
Bro, everything that we've ever done, like just the way we were raised, has come honestly out of spite and anger. It's like someone says we can't do it, we're like, okay. Like the guy in that company, I'm like, okay. So now my company's bigger than his.
Let's talk about Closer Cartel's culture.
Oh, it's crazy.
Kishin, 49 Devin.
Tret. Bro, it's
I'd
nuts.
love to hear what like a team call is like for that.
Bro, our team calls. If we had HR, I would go to jail. like if we had Fireflies on as a note taker for our team, not student calls, but our team calls. And Sanjay, because Sanjay is like our copywriter basically, so I pay Sanjay every month too. And he showed me one of the transcripts after a call one day, and I was like, "You have to." I'm like, "Kishin, delete this shit. Take it off of Zoom. We cannot have this. We are going to go to jail if someone leaks this stuff." So, bro, it's as if. It's not like it's bro-y, but in like a sophisticated way. So like it's obviously like a very male-driven. Like on my team, there's no women. My assistant's female. In the community, there's like 3, 4, 5 girls. So it's all just dudes that want to make money, and we all believe the same kind of thing. It's all similar-minded people. And these kids, bro, like Devin made $25K this month. Tret made $25K this month. Kishin made 35 this month. My brother made 20. These are all like 20-year-old kids from our team that are just crushing. So the culture, it's hard to put culture into words, bro, but it's great. That's all I can say. I don't know how to explain it, honestly. People wouldn't get what I'm saying if I explained it. It's crazy.
I feel like the main thing that goes into building a good culture like that is never conforming to what you think a company culture should be.
Yes.
Because even for us, like sometimes we'll go in the calls and like I brought this up when we had our, we just had like a little event within the community, which was sick. We had like 70 people. And one of our coaches, Ori, will just say the most,
Ori.
Yeah, he says the most absurd shit. I was like, dude, only Ori would say these things. And like if you treated it like a regular like business where everybody's miserable in a cubicle, we'd have to pull him aside and be like, Ori, you can't say those things. You can't tie everything back to like a stripper analogy. But he does it and everybody loves it. And like you can't like bend to the like societal norms that have been like forced on you.
No, you can't.
Since day one.
You can't, bro. Or this is what I would say about culture, because I do have a good way to describe it. So our culture is we're going to have a ton of fun, but we are going to be the most elite at what we do. So like, I'm not going to shit on other companies. Like there are a lot of other sales trainers that have used to work with us and now have copied our shit and do their own thing. We want to absolutely destroy everybody. Like on team meetings, if we see something new, we're like, okay, we got to crush them. Oh, they're doing this. They had this win. Okay, we got to crush them. So it's a level of elitism that is like super ingrained into everybody. Like no one slacks. I hardly ever have to get on to someone for being lazy. Everyone is like full force, but we have a great time doing it. So I would rather them go a little bit too far and me reel them in than them not go far enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. And then obviously from a leadership perspective, I will never ask them to do something I won't do. So like I work harder than all of them, but I have to. It's what you have to do as a leader, you know? And I think they respect that a lot. Like they could make more money elsewhere, to be honest, because we're not at the scale that we will be, especially this year with some of the stuff happening. They could make more money elsewhere. But Iman's team taught me this. Paul, actually, Iman's old CEO, great guy. He told me this. He said people will take a pay cut to be a part of something bigger than themselves instead of make more money. And that's kind of what we adopted for now. Obviously, the goal was to pay them ridiculous amounts of money, the whole team, but they're great. I love our team now. We've gone through a lot of changes in the last 2 years, but the core team that we have now is not going anywhere, and it's going to the moon.
I love it, bro. Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what you learned from seeing how Iman and his team kind of move. Because, like, there is that balance between, like you're saying, like, you're working with a bunch of, like, younger guys that are just coming onto money for the first time. And, like, that comes with a lot of, I guess, like, challenges, but also temptation is not really the right word. But, like, there's a lot of room for error when that happens.
Yeah, no, well,
It's very easy for those. It's very easy for those employees specifically to get super entitled.
Yes.
Like we've seen that on our end. Like, and I've cut people loose from our team for that same reason. It's like they think because they're on like a great offer, like the grass is always greener because it's like just happens to be their first thing that they get into. And I'll usually just let people go back. All right, go find out for yourself. Like,
and we're like that as well. We've had a lot of kids do that and try to come back, and we're very
like, how many of your kids, for instance, sorry to cut you off, have gone out and tried to start like a closer cartel competitor?
You know how many former students now run coaching programs?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say names, but literally every single other sales trainer on Twitter, other than the older guys, like SDR Whisperer, he wasn't. He's like older. He's done his own thing. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Every young person either worked for me or was a student.
It's the same thing with us in cold email. Everyone learned from Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And now they do that. I run business and honestly life, bro, on a very like honor driven thing. So that's why like maybe I'm not the easiest person to get along with, right? Like you guys have seen some crazy shit. I've had some that gets thrown around a little bit.
It's honestly more your persona than you as a person. Like you're very easy to get along with in person.
Well, thank you.
But you could be disagreeable online.
Yeah, I guess.
Which serves you. Like you're supposed to be controversial. That's how you get views.
And that is purposeful.
Yeah.
But like the way we run business is the same way I live life. Like I'm a very honor, loyalty, integrity kind of guy.
Yeah.
This is how I was raised. So if someone fucks us over and you want to come back, you're dead to me. Like you are literally dead. Yeah. You will not ever come back. We will destroy you. Like, and it's not like you're with me or you're against me thing in a rude way. Like if you want to go leave and do your own thing or do something else, I want you to win. Like I've referred team members to other offers because we just couldn't use them anymore.
Yeah. And
now they're crushing it. But if you want to try to like come in, get within the circle of trust, copy our shit, come against us, we will crush you. Like they're like I don't take that lightly. That's like very disrespectful to me, you know. And I've like you said, guys get a little bit too big for the britches, right?
Yeah.
I won't say who, but one of my young kids in Tampa made $24K in November, his first big month ever. Massive month for him, like profit. And then a friend, because he's like all of our team is now friends with my friends. Like you guys know Garrett. Yeah. So like Garrett is friends with all of them. It's like a real friendship thing outside of business. So someone calls me and is like, hey, this kid is doing this in Tampa. He's running around. He's looked like an idiot. He's making a fool of himself. Sends me the video. I'm like, thank you for letting me know. It's like, you're being a good friend, watching out for him. I called the kid and almost made him cry on the phone. And I was like, like screaming at him. And I was like, bro, you make 24 grand 1 month. You think you're hot shit. You're fucking broke still. Can you retire your mom? No. Can you go do what you want? No. You made 24 grand one time, and you're going to act like an idiot and throw your fucking life away. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Hasn't happened again. Like, it happens, especially with young kids. I'm aware of that because, like, it takes a certain... I never, ever got money and then acted stupid. Because I always have remained like the person I was when I was broke. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very grateful to have this, so I'm not going to throw it away and do stupid shit. But some kids will. And it doesn't make them a bad person. It's just they don't understand. They lack perspective. So sometimes you got to bring them down a couple of notches. And I think it's your job as a leader, and especially if you're in charge of these kids. They're all young, bro. They're like in their early 20s. That's your job. You got to keep them in check.
Well, yeah, and they also represent your culture,
exactly,
your brand.
Exactly.
Right? So like, you don't want people thinking like that's your brand.
Yeah.
Because it's not an accurate representation.
I'm curious to hear what education you invest in now, because obviously, like, you've come so far these past few years, and we both run education companies, and that's one thing we put a huge focus on internally is just finding different masterminds to level up. Because I feel like the moment you don't have a disconnect between like who's above you and like who you can learn from is the moment you stop growing. So like, right now, are you investing in coaches, mentors? Like, what's that look like?
Right now, yes. So Iman's thing in Dubai was $25K to go, and then it's another $25K a year for the yearly mastermind, which is like a couple calls a month.
Yeah.
So I invested in that. That's 50 grand. I was in Jeremy Haynes' inner circle thing, but
nice.
I quit that. I love Jeremy. He's a killer, but I don't run an agency. So I learned what I needed as far as like some operational stuff, some systems kind of stuff, some like the Google made that cold email change where you have to like reply or something to be able to, I don't know how to explain it, but we fixed it. So our show rates are high. So I quit that. That was like $2,000 a month, and I was in for, I think, almost a year. And then some other miscellaneous stuff. Like even outside of business, like, bro, I pay for a boxing coach. I pay for a shooting coach. I pay for a bunch of other stuff that I won't talk about. Like I spent like $100,000 last year on education. So 100%. Like if I'm going to tell some kid, give me like $1,000 or $5,000 now to learn from me, I am going to do the same thing for myself. Like it's you practice what you preach. You know, we do it for a reason.
Love that.
Yeah, and I feel like you're also the product in a way.
Yeah.
Like for Closer Cartel, right? Like it's your responsibility to continue growing in other areas of life because that trickles down on a product level, right?
100%. Like I've done some not therapy. It's not the right word, but some like intense like inner work kind of shit that helped a lot. Yeah, I just want to become the best at everything. Like whatever it is I want to do. Like I take it so like the gun thing. Everyone sees guns and like the guns. This guy's LARPing, bro. Military was like my first option out of high school, but I just know too much about like there were no weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East to like go fight for my country and die at this point. Like it's not real.
Yeah, like
which we're not going to go down the rabbit hole, but like I could not like knowingly go do that. I would be like this is a sham. Like I'm going to fight for oil. Like I don't want to do that. But I still have the desire, and I'm like, I really want to do this. So what I do, I get the guy I told you guys, former Blackwater mercenary for 4 years, former SEAL team guy. I literally am going to be paying him this year to train me, knife fighting, combat stuff, room clear. Like, why? I just want to get good at it. Like, it might look silly, but like, I want to get elite. Not like look cool, but actually elite. Like where you could perform at a high level with real professionals. Somebody
finally breaks into your house, you're like, fuck yeah. Like, finally, welcome in.
The day that happens, like,
good luck.
Yeah. Good night, buddy.
I think you're good up here.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. For anyone on Twitter hearing that, because I've had some crazy shit happen the last 2 weeks, but yeah.
Dude, there's some crazy people online, man. There are some crazy fucking people out there.
How about when we thought somebody was like out to get us, remember?
Oh, dude.
When someone shipped you the Daniel
doll?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, some weird things happen.
Bro, like, did you guys see what happened the last 2 weeks with my mom's house?
No.
So I don't want to get into details on this, but someone leaked my mom's house on Twitter.
Dude, that's so fucked up.
Like a pretty decently sized account that a lot of people that we know follow, like in the money Twitter space. Yeah, I had to almost do some like fucking crazy shit about that. That's like a line you don't cross. So like
absolutely not.
Stuff, bro, you get big and you are outspoken and you create like anger in people because like, bro, people, it's just like a real human thing. It's like jealousy. It's like this guy's doing all this stuff that I wish I could do, but for whatever reason I won't go try to do. They don't even try. So instead I'm just going to be hateful and project awful things on him and threaten him and whatever. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah. It just comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah.
But at least you're
Got to
prepared
pick up
for
golfing,
it.
bro.
I did. I started golfing.
Really?
Bro, I went twice in the last like month. My second time, I hit 2 pars.
There you go.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's pretty solid.
I'm learning.
solid.
I've got a hole in one. I don't know if I mentioned that in the pod, but
No hole in ones yet. Bro, I couldn't learn how to hit pitching wedges. Like I kept just like shanking it into the ground, but I finally figured it out and was getting, I don't know golf. It has a 60 on the wedge.
60 degrees.
Yeah.
Flop.
Yeah.
Flop
So I
wedge.
figured out how to actually get it to pop like straight up in the air. And I was like, oh, I
good
got
feeling.
this. I got this now.
it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Golf's
Yeah,
great.
I still
Love
suck
it.
at golf. I want to switch gears a little bit because you brought it up earlier, buying one of your companies from one of your friends, Alex, who we've had on the pod before.
Yep. Great guy.
Talk to us a little bit about the difference between running like an education company, an agency, to getting into the software world. Because obviously like, we've gone
hard.
through that recently. And
It's
is fucking
hard.
tough. Yeah.
It's very hard. Closify is relaunching soon. We changed the pricing model.
Okay.
No one wanted to pay $2,000 for a closer. And it was basically, when I bought it, the way they ran it, it was basically an agency with a dashboard. It
Yeah,
wasn't
like
a true SaaS.
marketplace.
Yeah. So now it is a true SaaS, kind of like Indeed. So you're going to pay, as a business, you're going to pay you can make an account for free, see all the closers, but you're going to pay for a job post, and then you're going to pay per interview. So it's still really cheap for them, but it's going to actually be a self-sustained actual SaaS. We just started one 2 days ago. I started a new one. I don't want to say anything about it because it doesn't really exist, and it is like, remind me and I'll show you guys what we're modeling after. It is fucking crazy. And this one's going to be real code, and it's AI. So it's not no code like Bubble, like the other two.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. But yeah, software, like, bro, education's cool. And obviously my brand is what I'm all in on. But I'm smart enough to know what I'm good at and what I'm not. I don't know how to code. I'm a good leader. I'm very good at building companies. I'm very good at hiring and all that and marketing and whatever. But I don't want to. Basically, the learning lesson was last year I spent a lot of time behind my desk and I made less money. But the second I got away from work all day doing stuff that I could just give to somebody else, we made more money because I was online. I was making videos. We've made 18 YouTube videos in the last month. And we've grown by like 2,600 subs on a small channel, which is great.
Yeah, it's huge.
Our
That's probably
calendar-
what, like almost 100% growth.
Yeah. Our calendar is absolutely booked. Like, that is the secret. So I'm doing nothing. I told my team, I'm like, you guys want something done? Don't ask me. I'm not doing it. All I'm doing is making videos all year. That's all I'm doing.
Damn.
But I'm smart enough to know I want equity. I want an exitable liquidity event. So what is the best way? Probably software. Plus, if you, like you guys are doing, obviously I don't got to tell you, you piggyback off the education business. Mm-hmm. So we have 3 sales softwares. Trackify is going to be getting revamped as well. This new one, and then Closify, it is the perfect flywheel. So I'm just going to give it to other really smart people. We'll go 50-50. I will market it. I will grow my brand and do what I'm good at because I want to reach Iman Tate level of brand. But we're going to be smart enough to do business on the right way on the back end, if it makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Did you bring in a technical co-founder? Do you have like an
Kind of.
agency that does the development?
You guys know Luke Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gadzhi.
Ward is my COO.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He has been for like the last almost year.
Damn.
He's a dog, bro.
I love
Killer.
Luke.
I
met
love
him.
Luke.
Operations coach in CA.
I love
So
him.
yeah, he's a coach and client extension. We've met him when we had our event out in London. He came
guy.
out
Tall
surprisingly
guy.
tall.
So tall.
I feel like everybody on Twitter usually works the opposite way.
Bro is so
like
tall.
you meet him and they're like 5'3", and then he's some fucking giant.
He's a great part of our team culture as well. He's like a good he's like the me, but that actually manages everything. Like he does the day to day, he does the payroll, keeps everybody in line. He can build fucking anything that I can think of from a system perspective. But now with the new SaaS, we have actual devs. We have actual devs. We have actual AI learning model people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going 50 on it. I'm just like, hey, you guys build this. I will take it to market. I'm good at product as well. So like I redesigned all of Closify in the span of a week on an iPad with Figma. I just like cracked myself out on sponsored by Lucy's. And I'm good at product because I know what it needs to be, but I don't know how to build it. So we just let other people build it and I'll do what I'm good at.
Yeah. Doesn't Iman have a SaaS too? He's
Yep.
doing something similar.
Flowsy, yeah.
And like, how does he speak about that? Similar.
He didn't speak about it that much. Didn't speak about it a lot, but it's the same plan, bro. This is like the thing now. Like Welch is doing it. Obviously, Sam Ovens is doing it. Hormozy is doing it. We're doing it. You guys are doing it. Like, there's a pattern there of why are we doing it. There's a reason behind it.
Bro, what did you think about Dubai when you went?
I didn't love it, bro. I don't get the hype about like Dubai, bro. Let's go to Dubai. Like, bro, it's cool. It was very cool to see what human beings are capable of building. But I would never live there, I don't think. Unless Papa Trump loses again, and I'm like, this is rigged. This whole country is fake. Maybe I would go get residency there and then just live in Europe and claim obviously business there.
You got to get rid of your U.S. citizenship.
Bro, I will. I really will.
Interesting.
Like, if shit keeps going the way it is, I will get out. I don't want to raise a family in a situation. And it's no matter what we do, I don't think we can fix it. Like, I'm not a pessimist. I'm always on the side of like, let's fight.
I feel like some parts of the country are going to be
it's a cultural
more
problem.
Isolated than others, though.
Yes, but it's a cultural problem. It's not a like government. Like, okay, let's say we wiped out the evil people in the government, right? If we could even do that, like we can't, but if we could, it's still a cultural problem. Like America, youth is cooked. Yeah, they are cooked, bro. There's no fixing that at a big scale.
And then if you look at the Middle East, it's like the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah,
but I will say, Dubai was the most degenerate place I've ever been.
What? Really?
Yeah,
bro. Have you been?
Yeah.
You've been?
Yeah.
Bro.
It's kind of like, it's weird though, because like on the outside, like
I felt a very evil vibe while I was there.
It doesn't look like it, but like there's something very evil.
Everyone always talks about on Twitter, like, oh, Dubai is so good. Bro.
Aren't they like bussing in slaves to work all day?
Yeah, okay, so all the labor is slaves. They're all Indians. It's literally it's the
I think from Pakistan.
Yeah,
bro. Top G's gonna come after you if you.
Top G follows me. Top G follows me. I love what that kid's doing, bro. It's cool. But yeah, bro, it's literally slave labor. So like people die all the time building those buildings, and no one talks about it. And then, so like for example, I go through the airport to leave. I flew Emirates with all my points, which was super cool. So I flew like the first class, took a shower in the sky. So when you fly Emirates, and especially when you leave Dubai, it's like a big part of their, I think, plan of making Dubai look a certain way, like prestigious, whatever. People will carry your bags, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So this
the airport.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I think I don't know if he's Indian or Pakistani. Very nice. He's like, hey, let me get your bags. I'm always like, bro, I grew up in the country. Like, I'm going to do it myself. I'll carry my own bag. Yeah. But he kept insisting. I'm like, okay, you're probably going to feel disrespected if I don't. Like, it's our culture. So I was like, okay, I'll let you. So I try to tip him, and the Middle Eastern guy behind the desk that I get to my gate starts yelling at the guy for me trying to tip him, and then like yelling at him being super mean. And I even stepped in and was like, bro, don't talk to him that way. And he like, look, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like, because obviously you can't yell at the customer. But I'm like, bro, why are you talking to this nice guy that's carrying my bags for me in such a way? So that was one example. Another example, I'm at dinner with Iman. This restaurant, have you been to Urla? It's like under the Burj Khalifa. It's like a rooftop restaurant.
I don't think so, but in that area, there's so many restaurants.
Yeah. Well, there's a ton. So we're at this restaurant. Iman leaves, goes home. It's like late. So I'm smoking a cigar with Paul and John Danes. I love John Danes as well. Great guy. And this waitress, she's like probably late 30s or 40s, but was like she's attractive. And she's like flirting with me the whole night, but she's a waitress. Like, that's what they do. So I didn't think anything of it. And I'm like, hey, can we get our bill, please? And so she brings the bill. She slips me a WhatsApp card with her WhatsApp number on it and like drew a winky face on it and gives it to me. And doesn't give it to anybody else, gives it to me. And I look at Paul when she walks away. I'm like, is that a prostitute? He's like, yeah. And I'm like shocked. My waitress... I live in Miami, bro. This is Vice City. Yeah. Everyone wants to shit on Miami all the time. I have never, ever seen escorts here. I've never seen prostitutes. There's a lot of drugs, obviously, like party drugs. But I've never been poached on by prostitutes at my restaurant, ever. It's never happened to me here. Crazy. Happened to me a couple times in Dubai. Every girl you see in Dubai is an escort. They are not real girls. Like, they're female, but like they're escorts. So like all these, like, bro, you know this. 30%, I think, of Dubai is female. I would say of that 30%, probably 80% are escorts.
Yeah,
that's
so
absurd.
Can't, like, go on dates.
No.
Are people drinking
you can
there?
Pay.
No?
Yes. So alcohol is fine.
Yeah. At like hotels,
everyone was drunk. Everyone was drinking, but drugs are super, which is weird, bro. You're gonna promote sexual degeneracy everywhere. It's not even looked down upon. It's probably looked down upon from like the super Muslim people, but they don't enforce it. It's like a known thing. Like the memes about like girls getting flown out to Dubai for weird shit is real.
Yeah.
It's like a real thing. So I was very shocked. I was like, This ain't the Dubai I heard of on Twitter.
Yeah, it's kind of the anomaly. Like you go to Abu Dhabi and you don't find any of that.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard Saudi
I
is
like
really
Abu
clean,
Dhabi better.
and Abu Dhabi is really clean and like what's the opposite of degenerate? What's the
Just
word?
like high standards,
Yeah,
like traditional values.
exactly. But at the other side, I was like shocked. It was so hot, bro. Like Miami
dude.
in the summer is not, and I went in September, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be nice and dry.
Yeah.
It was more humid than Miami, so it was 100 degrees and max humidity. I stepped out of the airport and I'm like dripping sweat. I was like, am I gonna live here? Fuck no. There's no way.
Dude,
John Danes, bro. I feel like we interviewed John Danes on our podcast.
While back.
Did you guys?
back on Real
While
Talk.
back.
Bro,
Yeah.
John,
Like
I
5
love
years
John
ago.
to death. I love John.
Does he work with Iman now?
Yeah, he does. He's a great guy. He's like their head of product. He's such a great guy.
Damn.
Love John. Yeah, love John. He's a big nicotine guy too.
Sponsored by
Bro,
Lucy.
he was like fiending. He's like, I need nicotine at the mastermind in Dubai. He's like, I can't find it anywhere. And then we eventually found him something. He had to pay like $200 to get him delivered or something.
Dude, without fail, every time we like go to London or every time we go to fucking Portugal or wherever, we always bring like a couple Lucy's.
I'm gonna have to.
A couple of Lucy's. And like it's always tragic where like 50% of the way through the trip we run out.
We're
And
like,
I'm just going through nicotine withdrawal. Daniel's hooked on cigarettes again. And it's just
When I'm in
It's an
Europe, I
endless
smoke
cycle.
cigarettes like a train. But
European
like,
cigs are great.
bro, they're great. And the girls, like, okay, tip for anyone watching this: if you go to Europe, European women are amazing. By the way, we were talking about this a lot. You guys know Charlie Summer or whatever his name is?
yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
in
met him
CA.
last night. He
He's
came
in
and
dropped
got.
out of college.
Klein
Yeah,
Ascension.
he's friends with my friend Garrett, so he came to Cigar last night, and we were talking. He was asking me, he's like, "I've never been to Europe. Like, tell me some stories." So I was telling him about like Russian girl I met, like all these like amazing girls. Bro, I didn't even try to riz these girls. Like in Miami, these girls won't give me the time of day, and it's not a me thing. It's like for everyone. Like it doesn't matter who you are, like whatever. If you're not a celebrity or like have some like crazy clout or you're a promoter, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. Like they
What
won't give
part
you
of
time
Europe
of day.
was this?
So I went to Spain, so Marbella and Mykonos.
Got it. So
And I
very,
met
very different,
amazing-
Christian, because I know I saw you like roll your eyes. You're like, ah.
Don't go to Lisbon, bro. The girls there are not good.
What do you mean?
Portuguese women just aren't attractive.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean,
That's
Dude,
one
you
thing.
wanna hear
But
the
no,
sleeper?
in London,
Ireland, bro.
Yes.
The Irish
Yes.
girls.
Irish
Yes.
girls aren't bad,
Yes.
dude.
So bad.
Everybody,
yes, the
everybody
Irish girls,
beforehand-
but the Irish girls are like American girls.
They hate American guys.
No, they love them.
No, they hated us.
I think he just has a problem with you. They loved me, bro.
You went to Ireland?
No, but the Irish girls love Marbella, so there
Yeah,
was
you're
a
in
ton of
Marbella.
them.
It's not like we were in an Irish bar, and as soon as we spoke, they were like American.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
yeah,
could get that
yeah.
because they're at home. But the traveling ones, they love us. We don't even got to try. Like you know Josh Mesner, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, Josh is so funny. Josh had a pack of cigarettes everywhere we went, and he was getting swarmed by like supermodels, like the most attractive women you've ever seen, and they were like so sweet and nice, like great quality women. And he would just stand there with his sunglasses on and smoke a cig, and then they would see him pull him out, and they would swarm him and like, "Well, can I have cigarette?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't mention it." He would just give him a cig.
That's literally how he sounds too.
It was, it was
There's
a
definitely a
blast.
difference between Europe though and the UK, like in terms of like how the women act. Like
Well,
in
the
Europe
UK
it's
is
way
like
better.
America.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But like Italy, for example, they're probably the same exact way they were
Yeah.
over in Spain and in Greece.
Bro, they
and wherever
were
else
they
we
were great. Julie, Angie, if you're listening to this, love you guys.
Yeah, they're actually our
They're
biggest
big stick
fans.
talk
They're the
listeners,
best.
yeah.
They're the best.
Big TikTok fans.
They edit the shorts now.
They'll probably watch it, bro. They watch all my shit. Like those girls are so nice. Like so, for example, the Russian girl. This is a good story for pod. This will be a good clip. Okay. So I'll tell you a story in quick version. So we go to this club called Alamagoo. I was with Colin Yerkinson for the first time. I met him in Greece. Really cool guy as well. And there's a table beside us full of like 40 of the most attractive girls I've ever seen in my life.
Said 40?
I don't like 40. Like I'm not exaggerating. I'm not a big Miami like Cuban Latina women that are built like thumbs guy. I like Victoria's Secret models. Okay, if you're built like a thumb and you like look like a stick potato, I don't like
What
it.
was the movie that had the thumb people?
Spy Kids.
Spy
Kids.
Kids.
That's
Oh,
literally what I
fucking
said.
classic.
Like,
Looks like I hate curves.
bro, the
Wow.
Cuban Latina girls that everyone like fantasizes about online, they look
Yeah.
like thumbs. I don't like that. I like tall. Like you're gonna give me 6 foot tall children. They're gonna be Victorian, sophisticated. Like I like that,
Yeah,
right?
same.
So there's like 40 of the most attractive, like to the point where like I see pretty girls all the time in Miami. But I was to the point where I was like, me and my friend, you guys know Jonathan, one that has all the tattoos.
Yeah,
I don't know if you met
video
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, so
He does your content?
my boy Jonathan.
Yeah.
So we're standing there like this with our arms crossed. We're kind of in a bad mood because we're like, how the fuck are all these girls here? And we got like 2 girls at our table. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna go ask somebody. I was like drunk, so I was like, I'm gonna go ask somebody. So I literally walk into the middle of their table, and I find the oldest looking guy. It's this Asian guy, and I'm like, hey, my name's Luke. I'm from Miami. I got a stupid question to ask you. And he's like laughing at me. His name's Chester. So Chester runs like the crazy. You guys know like Adam Horowitz. You know Adam Horowitz? No. Adam Horowitz, he travels around with like Jay Alvarez and those guys all the time, has like a huge like travel Instagram. Anyway, doesn't matter. So he's the guy that is connected to all the supermodels all over the world. So I'm like, how do you get all these girls here? And he laughs at me and he's like, what's your name? Where are you from? And he's like, I felt so stupid. He goes, you pay for them to come, duh. And I'm like, oh. So he gets my number and I didn't think anything of it. So we like leave. We're like, oh, we're just gonna go to bed. Like, couldn't find any girls to go do anything with. Like, fuck, this is a L of a night. So he pings me. We're about to go to bed. And he's like, yo, crazy villa party, come through. So sends the address. So I show up with Jonathan. Cam Muner went. Yep. We show up with too many guys. And the security's like, can't let you in, bro. You got too many guys. And I sweet talked him. He let us in. So we get in. I turn around. And Jay Alvarez and Emily Ratajkowski, the supermodel, are sitting behind me, like kissing on each other and shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm at this kind of party. Because, like, I never been to shit like this. This is in Mykonos. Crazy villa on, like, a cliff, infinity pool overlooking the ocean, mountains, house DJ. Like, it was sick. So, at the club,
What does this Chester guy do?
So, Chester, this is literally what he said to me. He goes, hi, my name's Chester. I run all of Asia. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, if you come to Asia, he's like, you come to Hong Kong, wherever. He's like, I run all the clubs. He's like, whatever you need, you can have. So like, and I'm still in this group chat with him, and like, supermodels have like 50 million followers on Instagram. Jeez. So he just like meets cool people, throws them in a group chat, and just is like the connector of people.
Yeah.
It's a cool guy, very cool guy. I'll see him again this summer. But after I talked to him at that club, there was this Italian girl I saw. Her name's Marta. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go talk to this girl. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go talk to whoever I want. So I tap on this girl beside her shoulder, and I'm like, hey, will you get your friend? The girl that turns around is also like the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. She's Russian. So she's like, oh, okay, and is like kind of disappointed. You could tell, because she thought I was like trying to like get her attention. So I try to talk to Marta. Marta doesn't speak a lick of English. She speaks fucking Italian. So I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. I have no chance. I'm like, I can't riz you in Italian. I'm going to look stupid. So now we're at the party, okay? So the Italian girl, I like lock eyes with her. It's like a crowd of people. And she's like mean mugging me. And I'm like, oh, she's mad at me. She walks by me. So I'm facing like outwards and the villa's behind me. She walks by me and like shoulder checks me. And then just walks into the house. And I'm like, what the fuck was that about? So then the Russian girl, she follows her and comes and talks to me. And then the Italian girl turns around, looks, sees me talking to the Russian, looks pissed. So I fumbled. How inappropriate can we get on this podcast?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I fumbled so bad, bro. So the Italian girl was trying to flirt with me because she couldn't speak English. And I didn't pick up on it. She walks into I didn't know this till the next morning because I wasn't on my phone the whole night. She walks into the villa, sends me a picture of her naked in bed, and DMs it to me on Instagram right after. Like the timestamp was right after she had like shoulder checked me. So I missed the cue and was like, oh, I missed out. But so I started talking to the Russian girl.
I don't know if a shoulder check is the best cue.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, what the fuck? So I saw it the next morning.
For proof after, you know.
Bro, I saw it the next morning and I was like, I was so devastated.
Just to make sure it's actually there, you know.
I'll show you these girls
That's
after.
the most suspect thing you've ever said in the pod.
That look. We gotta get a zoom in on that.
Just the way he was sitting on the couch.
He's like
a creepy uncle. I'm gonna have to see this. Like, all right, bud.
Hungovertism is hidden right now.
that was.
So the Italian girl I fumble because I didn't pick up on the cue, but I start talking to the Russian girl. Beautiful, actually, like so sweet, so nice. She goes, what do you do? In like her Russian accent and very strong Russian accent. And I'm like, oh, I do like business, whatever. Like, I don't want to talk about myself like that. I'm like, what do you do? She's like, I'm a rich bitch. And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm a rich bitch. I'm like, oh, okay. So she gets my Instagram. She goes, oh, you have this car? Talking about the G-Wagon. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. And she's like, I have 3 of them, black, pink, and white. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what does your family do?
Daughter.
Bro, her dad is a massive oligarch. Damn. So I looked up her family. Her dad is like a Russian oil and gas oligarch. So she's trying to get me to go like all the time to Moscow. She tried to meet me in Dubai. Like these girls are so nice. Like this girl, if she lived in Miami, would be like a elite or Wilhelmina model, like top model girl. She's private Instagram, 400 followers.
No way.
So nice. Came to dinner with us the next night, hung out with us the rest of the time in Mykonos. So sweet. So anyway, the story was for entertainment. But like the girls in Europe, they're angels.
She's Russian.
And she was Russian, and she had a soul. Most Russian girls don't have a soul. They're like super cold. This girl's like warm, nice. Like I have a video on, I think, we didn't post the vlog ever because of Cam didn't video shit. Cam was busy building like a fort in the pool the whole time, so we didn't.
I could see that.
We didn't get like a good vlog. But there's a clip of her. Like we're at dinner, like she's with my friend group. This girl literally stands up and does a toast and is like, "Thank you guys for having me, new friends. You're so nice," and like just they're so sweet. So I'll take you to Europe and I'll show you like nice girls.
Don't have to tell me twice, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get Chester.
Bro, Chester's great. I talked to one of the guys this morning. He's Swedish. His name's Carl, and he there's like these old money kids that come from big old money in Europe, and they just travel around the year all year and party, and just they're super cool. It's like I met him at the villa, and he's like, "Hey, where are you from? I don't know you." Super nice. Just like introduced me to people. Has like sent girls to me on Instagram that he knew were in Miami. He's like, "Hey, my friend's here. Like, she needs friends. Like, if you want to go visit her." He's just fucking great guys, great people.
Networking.
Just
because you met Chester.
Yeah, Chester's the guy.
We got to get him on the pod. That'd be like the thumbnail. Like he runs all of it.
Bro, he has the craziest Instagram stories. It'll be like him at dinner with like 5 supermodels like throwing cake at each other, like ridiculous.
I was like, does that ever get old?
Probably, but it's
Take
good
a
time.
while. Take a lot of cakes.
Should we hit lightning round? I want to make sure we don't
Yeah,
miss this
we got a
boat.
wedding.
Yeah, we got a wedding to get to, so we got to tear down the set soon. Christian,
All
go
right.
ahead.
First question: if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Tate, Bet David, Ty Lopez.
Solid. Former guest, 2 future guests.
But if it was like dead people,
Anybody?
like Alexander the Great.
Napoleon?
No, not Napoleon.
Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, Jesus, but I could not look Jesus in the eyes right now. That would be bad.
Good point.
Yeah, those. Next one.
Solid.
Next question. Mine is, if you had to put out one last piece of content, what would you say to the world?
Probably like one of the live streams we do, where it's not about business. It's just about you kind of getting, like the last one we did was about your limiting beliefs. Like everyone's holding themselves back, literally in their own head. And if people can just grasp how to like separate their thoughts from their identity and not do negative things to themselves and hold themselves back, probably that. Like if I could get everyone to do that, everyone would live like amazing lives, you know? So I think probably that.
Love it, bro.
What's a tangible goal you have this year that has nothing to do with money or business?
Oh, nothing to do with money or business? Oh, it's tough.
That's a good question.
You gonna fight? Yeah, that was just off the top
It
of the dome.
is combat related probably. I want to have my first fight this year, 100%.
Dope.
We've been training hard. Like I got the shit beat out of me.
Boxing
Monday.
or MMA?
Boxing, because people won't do MMA, so it has to be boxing because it's more of like a sport.
Yeah.
I mean, people like,
Well, like the people I want to fight, they're not going to fight me in MMA.
Yeah.
They're only going to want to do
who do you want
boxing.
to fight?
So I tried to fight Hassan, and he
remember that.
declined. So, and we're friends now. So he came to Miami and we hung out. I actually really like Hassan. He's a cool guy. The online is a character. He's a really good marketer, but like in person, he's a really cool guy. I like him a lot. We sparred. Cool guy. He would have been a good one for like business because that would have got a lot of eyeballs and been the first big money Twitter fight. Sneeko maybe, but me and Sneeko go to the same gym. We're kind of friends. But he, like, if you think of the landscape of who to fight, I'm probably not going to fight Iman because I want to fight somebody that I don't like. I could like maybe make myself get mad at.
Yeah.
And I like we're too close. And they have to box already, so there's not a lot of people on that list.
I'll fight you, bro.
You want to fight?
Not really.
First fight though, that's a dope goal.
Yeah, first fight, and then probably get really, really, really fucking good at this combat stuff. Like I want to be able to clear rooms and everything in such a high level way by the end of the year that I'm on par with like guys that are professional military. That'd be cool.
That's sick.
Damn.
That's
Love it,
it. Let's wrap it.